Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Banks are notoriously slow to adopt new technologies. That's why it shouldn't come as a shock that other financial institutions, such remittance providers and payment processors, were the first to use XRP as a bridge currency using on-demand liquidity created by Ripple. I anticipate banks to be ubiquitous. Nevertheless, what if there were a simple trick or move that could make banks feel more at ease with this? The absence of ambiguity in the law is, without a doubt, a crucial missing piece of the puzzle in the United States. And there are a great deal of variables involved. But this headline from the Crypto Basics expert reveals how Bank of America can use the Ripple Liquidity Hub to make use of XRP. I'm going to quickly go over the details. But the idea is intriguing. I wouldn't be surprised if what's being discussed here is truly a part of Ripple's goal. If so, I haven't heard them make it clear, but it makes a lot of sense. In addition, this post from Crypto Basics by Deaton details the steps necessary to legally sell XRP for ODSL in the United States. Upon receiving the judge's ruling on July 13, now known as XRP Victory Day, in the SEC versus Ripple case, you may recall that Ripple didn't get it completely clean when they wanted the most important thing. Obviously, Judge Twards found XRP itself is not a security, but on certain institutional sales. Not right there, George Torrey chimed in. And that's just for Ripple on the institutional side of things. What does that mean for OTL though? Deaton, who practices law, certainly has an opinion on the matter. There seems to be a way around it. Furthermore, this can be analyzed in a variety of ways. Let's just say that everything is probably going to work out nicely for the Ripples. And not only internationally outside the US, but also in the US itself, where the question mark has been for the better part of the last, 6 weeks or so. To be clear, I am not offering financial advice, and I do not have any form of financial backing. Moreover, you should not make any financial decisions based on what I say. I'm merely a hobbyist who finds fun in discussing cryptography in the form of YouTube videos. But in a casual, recreational context. Ripple's Liquidity Center will be mentioned briefly now, so get used to hearing about it. And straight out of the gate, let me to arrange the seating. Please make sure that everyone is on the same page about what this entails. It's basically the same thing as Ripple's, which is, to put it another way, an aggregator of prices. Furthermore, Ripple acts as a matchmaker. Buyers and sellers will be matched in the same way as in Ripple would. The way it operates is similar to other services like Kayak, Google Flights, and Priceline, where users enter their desired destination and budget and are presented with a selection of hotels matching their criteria. You have the option of staying at any one of the available hotels that night, or you can choose to stay at many hotels on the same night if you're feeling very daring. In other words, they are merely indicating the cost. In a nutshell, that's it. Again, it seems that Ripple is only acting as a broker between buyers and sellers when they facilitate transactions through its liquidity hub rather than directly selling XRP to users. That pretty about sums it up. That's why I've always thought that from a legal standpoint, granted, I'm not an actual attorney, I simply play one on YouTube. I always thought that it would be a good thing for Ripple XRP to be listed, since they act as a matchmaker between buyers and sellers for Bitcoin without actually transacting any of the buying or selling themselves. Nonetheless, Ripple did not launch a liquidity hub for XRP. Bitcoin and ETH were among the other cryptocurrencies used in the launch. And I believe there were around 5 distinct cryptocurrencies used in the launch. However, XRP was supposed to be incorporated initially. Then they didn't, though. And everyone in the neighborhood was all, well, why not? And they never did get around to addressing it. Moreover, Ripple has emerged, and perhaps it is premature. Okay, it's out now. It's like, yeah, well, there's not enough legal certainty, and they may come back to it in the future. Now the unanswered question is why, to the best of my knowledge, XRP has not yet been included into the Liquidity Center. Even more baffling is the fact that Gemini is the first exchange to list XRP after it has been relisted on numerous others, including Coinbase. Why isn't it rated as having high liquidity? Thus, that remains a mystery. I can't provide you with an explanation. Maybe there's a technical reason why Ripple hasn't implemented that yet, or if not, a good reason why it hasn't been implemented. But I just can't fathom the motivation behind that happening. In any case, my hunch is that Ripple was so emphatic about pundits of caution because of the following. However, the following link to the Chief Operating Officer's extensive interview with Joseph and Dasso provides insights into how large financial institutions could leverage XRP through Ripple's liquidity hub, in which Dasso cited specific examples using the Bank of America. He talked about how institutions might benefit from using the liquidity hub offering and how Ripple came to develop it strategically. Crypto community leader and digital asset investor XRP uploaded a clip of Indosua's video. During the course of the interview, Endosa recommended that Ripple incorporate the liquidity hub into the already established Ripple Net offering. It is his opinion that if the liquidity hub were made available to Ripple Net users like Bank of America, then financial institutions would be able to more efficiently and effectively manage the XRP positions needed to execute transactions on demand. In addition, the Smart Router engine was stated as part of the Rippling Liquidity Hub in the link to Ku. He pointed out that practically all exchanges with substantial liquidity are part of the Ripple network, which links the hub to accounts at multiple worldwide liquidity venues. That's a valid point, I guess. And that's why I said at the beginning of the video that I wouldn't be surprised if Ripple ended up plugging in a liquidity hub to RippleNet alongside on-demand liquidity, since you already have XRP positioned as a bridge currency with on-demand liquidity. You can get a loan for XRP from a Ripple, they actually do that, and you just pay there's basically a fine tiny fee associated with a camera if it was a percentage in terms of interest, whatever, but if you're financial institutions, you got to source your X, or your XRP from somewhere, and there are a number of ways you can do that. This is a modest loan with a short repayment period. The money is repaid afterward. If you need liquidity immediately and plan to store XRP for little more than a few seconds, this isn't a major concern. There are, thus, a variety of options. So this is really an additional choice. So, the CEO said in the video that was released, just as an example, you could have $1 billion transaction that you want to go through, which could be for a major transaction from a major bank like Bank of America. He then goes on to explain what the bank could do if it wanted to buy $1 billion worth of XRP at once. And from there, the various algorithms that Ripple employs will take care of the routing for you automatically. You won't be able to place an order of that size with a single exchange, so instead, they will likely send the $1 billion through a series of different exchange partners around the world in order to find the best possible price. And once you've used it for instantaneous liquidity, you can flip it for a profit in a flash. That sounds very interesting. From a legal standpoint, there are a few different ways this could play out, however, this should not be an issue anywhere in the world. However, clarity surrounding XRP in the United States is currently greater than in many other countries. It's basically the same thing, after all, there are some locations on Earth where this is evidently already a given. But you didn't need a certain region or set of countries to ultimately catch up. Once that happens, nothing is stopping the banks from acting. Large banks are unlikely to be among the first to adopt on-demand liquidity for the simple reason that smaller banks are more likely to be cash-strapped and less well-established in foreign markets to have to fork over money to their larger counterparts. I can put you in touch with the right people at Bank of America to borrow money so you can serve your consumers. Yes, smaller banks will sometimes compensate their larger customers for facilitating international wire transfers. Large financial institutions can afford to establish Vostro accounts in every corner of the globe, turning this niche market into a lucrative source of revenue. But once the incentive to have those no-servicer accounts dries up, which could happen anyway as a result of on-demand liquidity having additional success, then there is less incentive to have those, so it could make sense for you even if you're a larger bank at some point. But to see, I'm just saying that's not Ripple's target customer right now. This is not something I'm imagining. Before leaving his position as general manager at Ripple Nets, Sheesh Burla revealed that the company first targeted huge financial institutions like Citibank before realizing that retail customers were a better fit. Not their ideal customer. I don't mean to imply that they won't be in the future. But that's not what happened at all. It's fascinating that all this technology already exists, all they have to do is plug it in. What do you think will happen as time goes on and crypto gains widespread acceptance? Furthermore, it's awesome because even if the transaction just lasts a few seconds, imagine that there are constant transactions throughout the day, and any unused XRP is put to good use. You won't be able to buy it. Even though it's only 3 or 5 seconds, at any other time. In other words, if someone is using XRP for on-demand liquidity, I can still hold that for my own purposes of speculation or this or that or to pay for something. However, if you have enough, and if it's being done on a massive scale, then the XRP being used for one use case cannot be used for another use case at the same time. With each new use case added that gets traction, confidence in XRP's long-term viability grows. This is because of the cryptocurrency's expanding utilization despite the high transaction speed. That's the extent of it, really. Therefore, in my opinion, the number of people who opt to diversify into cryptocurrencies will increase as time goes on. They're after a slice of the XRP pie. Should they have faith that it serves these utility functions, they could rest assured. I want to spread my bets, and I figure a little investment in XRP via a crypto miner is a good way to do so. After the favorable legal decision for XRP itself not being a security, institutional investors have begun pouring in. This is awesome gear, so to speak. Then there was this from Crypto Basics, where Deaton clarified the legality of selling XRP for ODSL in the US. John Deaton, an attorney who is in favor of XRP, recently provided some guidance on how Ripple may legally sell XRP in the United States for OTL. And I won't even bother reading the whole thing. Here, I'll just give you the straight facts. So, Dai came up with this idea, and he tagged John Deaton in a post where he described a scenario in which Ripple sold XRP to the Bank of England in London. The ODSL is then sold by the Bank of England to a US institution like Bank of America for use in the US. There is never any safety in OTC deals. This means that XRP can be used in US and OTL trades indefinitely. Will this do? That is a very good point to make. And the lawyer Deaton responded, absolutely, in fact, look at this. Yes, attorney Deaton wrote that, and you also know that DAI OTL transactions use XRP not as an investment but as a bridge currency, just as Gary Gensler describes below from 2018. So shared a link while at MIT, but I'm not going to check it out for the sake of this video. What he stated is true, of course. John continues by arguing that the 3 to 5 seconds it would take for a bank to own the XRP in an OTL transaction means that it cannot be considered an investment. Given that these XRP transactions fail to satisfy even a single Howey criteria, it is absurd to suggest that any given institution stands to gain anything from participating in them during those seconds. Also, they are not securities as per Foreman. So I'll just say this, it seems to me that this is going to be the case anyhow, especially in light of what I read from David Schwartz following the verdict on July 13th. Given the unfavorable outcomes on the institutional front for Ripple, the obvious follow-up question is what does it indicate for on-demand liquidity? Even at that earliest moment, David Schwartz showed no signs of alarm. Not that we knew anything about the process of sausage making, if you know what I mean. However, he appeared hopeful that there would be a way forward, and with attorney Deaton citing a way, it appears that there will be. Frankly, I don't think it will be a huge concern at all, and here's why. As XRP holders, we may take heart in the fact that Ripple's actions have no bearing on the value of XRP. It can be demonstrated that XRP merely tracks Bitcoin's movements. In the long run, though, I believe this work being done by developers on top of the XRP ledger will be significant. In my opinion, they will not affect the XRP price. I now believe that to be demonstrably true. However, I don't anticipate that remaining the case in the future. All that will ultimately important, in my opinion, is the success of the developers who choose to build on top of the XRP ledger. Since I'm not a professional financial advisor, you shouldn't use my advice to make any investments or trades. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you in the next one, bye.